Live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie Agenti Show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in. Welcome to the Jamie Agenti Show right here on Fishbowl Radio. My name is Jamie, and it's Happy New Year. It's Tuesday, January the 3rd, 2023, and welcome to this new year, guys. Really appreciate you all being here with me, if thereof. So, with that being said, so before we dive into this Cowboy stuff, let's get a little serious real quick. Damar Hamlin suffered a freak accident on the field last night. There's no words. There's no words you can say. The only thing you can do is just pray. And, right now I'm trying to look through the phone and try to get updates. He's in critical condition. He had a cardiac arrest, basically a heart attack on the field. So with that being said, let's keep him in prayer. And I do want to say this. There's two things that were on my mind last night. Number one, the NFL should really care about its players. Okay? Here's why. Players go out there and make sacrifices every Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, whatever it may be. They do it for their families. They do it for us. They do it for their team. They do it for sponsors, whatever it may be. So with that being said, was all that sacrifices the players have to make every game? You're talking about going out there for 60 minutes and playing your ass off. And the NFL says, you know what, we're going to upgrade our services. We're going to go digital. Like, when will it be about the players? Every off season, there's a player retiring because of lack of interest. They're not taken care of. I always vision when the player retires. I always say, okay, I always fear the worst. Then I get asked, why do you fear the worst? It's just retiring. Well, because you never know what will happen. Somebody might get into an accident. Somebody, God forbid, that doesn't happen. But the NFL should really invest in those players. And after last night, you really should definitely invest in your players long term, whether it's they're playing or in retirement. Now, this guy Damar may never play again. Who knows? But we do wish a safe and speedy recovery. And they talked about privacy, and there's nothing private about this anymore. Like, we got to stop saying privacy, because you know why? Because people keep posting the video over and over and over and over again, telling people, look at this, look at that. His family or the team does not want to see that at all. Stop posting that crap. As a matter of fact, you should never post any injuries of that magnitude. Because that you're talking about somebody that could have lost their life on that field, and you're posting that crap. Like, stop that shit. Move on, man. My second thing is Skip Bayless needs to be canceled forever, man. That dude needs to go. How can you worry about the game that somebody passed out on the field? And then on TV this morning, you gave up fake sympathies. You are fake, my man. Matter of fact, you're not my man. You are fake. You're a fake loser. You're a fake fan. You're a fake everything. And I can say that. That's why Shannon didn't come on the show this morning. Because you're going to say some of the stupidest things out there that somebody says that can back you up. Nobody has your interests. I never had your interests. Never. When you talked about Dak Prescott, when he was going through his suicide thoughts, his brother had a suicide. You told him, suck it up, get it back on the field. You can't tell people that. You have no heart whatsoever. And you guys in Fox Sports, that you keep paying this man $8 million, $9 million to say that crap on Twitter, to say whatever he wants. but yet it's like you don't take care of the players on the field, but you take care of the one that says a lot of bull crap. Skip needs to be canceled forever, so that we don't see his face, we don't hear his tweets. Suspend his Twitter account. Suspend every social media that's given to him after last night. But now, so we're going to talk about the Cowboys game in a second. But I do want to welcome Gabe in here. Gabe,
What's
welcome,
going on,
sir.
man? How you
Happy
doing?
New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. After last night, I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I'm hearing from both sides, about the situation. It was very heartbreaking, and I don't have the words for it.
Yeah.
I just want to know what your take on is on it first, and then should they resume the game? But I want your take on it first. Thank you.
This was one of the hardest things I've ever watched, and I watched a lot of football over the course of my life. Like, it's been my favorite sport since I was a kid.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of hard hits. I've seen a lot of stuff that made sense given the context of the game.
Right.
This was something that didn't make any sense.
Right.
It looked like a routine tackle.
Yes.
He got up, took a step, and immediately fell to the ground. Like,
Right.
I've never seen that before.
Right.
And then looking in the eyes of those players, Stephon Diggs and
Yes.
Tre'Davious White and all of those guys out there, it really kind of hit home for me in a different way, man. Like, I think we don't know where this stemmed from. They do say it was a heart attack that he had on the field. I don't know exactly where it stemmed from.
Right. Only 24 years old.
It's not enough information for me to really talk about
Right.
what's really going on here.
Right.
But I just feel for his family.
Right.
His mother was in the stands.
Yes.
Just things like that. To me, I can't even put myself in the shoes of that parent.
Right.
I can't even put myself in the shoes of his family members watching this on TV. Like, that's a difficult thing to where, like, you feel helpless in front of the world.
Right.
And so, again, I've been praying all day, all night.
Yes. Same here.
It's very, very, very difficult situation. I'm actually very angry at the NFL for how long it took them to postpone that game.
Right. It took him.
They went to 9 different commercial breaks.
God damn.
And he was still laying on that field, and you talking about, oh yeah, we're still trying to make a decision because it's got to come from New York. Okay, that's a decision that should have been made very, very quickly once you saw that he wasn't getting off of that field.
Right. That's what I talk about. That's what I talk about. The NFL does not care about its players.
And so I think the value system of the NFL has to be bigger than money. This is a violent sport.
Right.
You're profiting off of violence.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
It's true.
we love it. It's entertainment at its finest, but it's violence at the end of the day, and they're profiting off of it.
That's what.
And so if you're gonna profit off of it, everybody knows nobody's a victim when it comes to playing the sport because everybody knows what comes with the sport. But at the same time, you have to care more about the people than they care about themselves. That's why I do respect some of these coaches out here.
Right.
The Herm Edwards of the world, who sold Trent Green in 2006.
2005.
2005.
2005, 2006. I remember that.
I remember that vividly because he was like, no, you're not getting them back on that field.
Right.
And so it takes those types to really make a difference in this league because it's a violent sport. And we come with the mentality when you play the sport that, I'm supposed to suppress any pain, any feelings, anything like that. To see all of those grown men crying on the field.
It's tough.
It puts a lot of things in perspective.
It does.
We don't know the details of his specific situation. But I just know that it's got to be more. Players and people have to be more important, and that goes for not just the NFL, the entire world.
Exactly. Exactly.
People have to be the most important thing. You have to care about people.
You have to.
I've seen entirely too many people lose their lives on social media.
Right. Yeah. It's it's one of the biggest things. Now, my anger is the people. My anger is the people that keep posting that, that keep posting it on their social media. They share it to other places, and like that. And I just remember, you know, I love basketball.
Yeah.
And you know, I love football too, but basketball, right? Whenever I seen Gordon Hayward break his leg, his whole entire leg twisted, and that was in 2017. They showed that, and immediately went dark. So, was that being forward? The NBA did go to commercial and all. They did all those things. I want this to change. I want players to get checked out, not mentally, physically before the game. And I know we played sports in the past. Every year, especially in high school, in high school they tell you to go get a physical. Any sport you play, and see if you're all right and your heart, anything inside of your body is okay. I want that on a game by game basis.
Yeah.
For every sport, especially the football, because you're talking about you're starting young up until now. You just never know what will happen. You'll be all right before the game. Then as the game as the momentum and everything goes on, something may happen. And Damar was okay. He was okay. He actually came in. He filled in for the safety. Michael Hyde got hurt in week 2, and then somebody else got hurt during the game. He was the other guy.
And he's been a starter for the last 12 weeks, 14 weeks, something
yes,
like that.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I want the NFL to implement a physical test before the game, before you play this game.
And it's hard for me to say that only because I don't know what they already administer.
Right. They can't get the concussions right.
You're struggling with the concussions. I think that's something that's going to take time, though, because we're so used to just letting players play.
Yes.
And with it being such a violent sport, you do have to create some sort of parameters for how that. I am a purist when it comes to football, right?
Yeah.
So it's been difficult to watch a lot of these penalties and a lot of this stuff that's been going on.
It is.
But I think it is necessary in order for the sport to continue to grow, because players are only getting bigger, faster, and stronger. And if you continuously let them collide at that rate, it's only going to get worse.
Exactly.
So you do have to kind of control it. And I do think, and this is a separate topic from young man who just had the situation, but I don't know what they already administer when it comes to physicals. I feel like they do a lot of different things prior to the game. I just don't know medically what that looks like, so it's hard for me to say that. But I don't because I don't really want to put the onus on the medical staffs in this situation, because this is something that nobody expected. He was cleared to play. Right. Everything was good. He'd been playing for the last 12, 14 weeks.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, we don't know. It's so much that we don't know.
Exactly.
And that's the part where I just want to focus on the part that, like, his family is not going to be the same. His players are not going to be the same.
No, they're not. No, they're not. And
it's a level of PTSD that comes from stuff like this, even moving forward.
Yeah. I don't know how, because, you got to understand that, well, besides the game, which I'm going to talk about in a second, but his family, he said his mom was in the stands. His mom rode him to the hospital. I saw Stephon Diggs, stay back. The man had to take an Uber from the stadium to the hospital. Yeah. And what gets me is when you have a life-threatening situation in the hospital, especially, like, it can be anybody, any family member that you have. The officers stopped him and, reported how they vouched for him. And I'm like, okay, move out of my way. That's my brother. I'm going to see how he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I understand you're doing your job to try and prevent, everybody trying to go in there. But at the same time, that's my brother. I want to see how he's doing.
And even to that point, like, I get it. Like, this is a high profile situation. The world stopped for this.
It did.
So I think, yeah, you do have to be on guard a little bit if you're a security guard in a hospital. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know what could be going down. It could just be somebody that's being nosy and popping in. So I get it.
Yeah.
And football is one of those sports where you don't recognize people's faces because they got helmets on.
You do.
So,
yeah,
you know, I get it.
Maybe they don't watch the game.
Exactly. And that's another thing, too. So I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I think Cincinnati handled this situation with class.
They did. Wholeheartedly, they did.
They handled this entire situation with class. And I'm a supporter of Cincinnati more so than ever.
Right.
Because of how they handled the situation.
You know who should get the most credit? Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor should get absolute credit. Like, he knew that he went up to Sean McDermott and said, "Hey, we're in solitaire with you guys. We're not going to play this game." Like, that man, I can remember him as far as Oklahoma State, and having that high character, it speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Outside of his coaching techniques. And the reason why I don't want that posted is because he's got a lot of family members out there that couldn't make the trip to Cincinnati. His mom did, and now they got to see that. Like, you got to take that shit down.
Yeah. And I think that's the insensitivity of this era that we live in, right?
Yes.
We become so numb to seeing the craziest stuff.
Right.
We've seen people shot on social media. We've seen people killed by hands of police on social media.
Yeah.
We've seen all types of stuff, and we think that doesn't affect our mental, and we're so numb to it now.
Exactly.
That it's like, oh, we're just going to share this so everybody can see. No, this is not one of those times.
It's not. It's not.
Put the phone down.
Right.
It's got to be times where you really just care about humanity.
It's just not a lot of it.
It's a lack of that to me, and I think that's a big problem for me. I can't. It irritates me on a different level. Because I just I don't do well with blatant disregard for people.
Right.
These are humans. These are not robots. They're not guys. Like, these are humans.
Right.
If this didn't teach you anything else, everybody that you see on TV is a human. First,
exactly.
Before anything else, before their profession,
exactly. Before they put on that jersey, they're or that suit, they're human first.
Exactly. So just always respect humanity before you do anything else.
That's the biggest thing, and we need all of that. And after last night, I can't imagine. You know, I was just thinking about, you know, it's a big game between seeding in the AFC, right? I think right now, Cincinnati has the.
They're playing for the number 1 seed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Was week 18 the last week coming along? I honestly don't know how you play this game. I was just thinking Friday. I was thinking Saturday. I was just thinking, like,
they're not going to play this game until they know he's okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the big thing.
That's the thing. Like, they won't. Honestly, I would even put the season on hold until he's okay. But that's giving way too much credit to the NFL.
Season on hold?
I would. It can be done. There's no reason it can't be done.
Roger Goodell won't do that because you know why?
Yeah,
because you got two sides. You got two sides.
$2 involved.
Yeah, you got two sides, and that's why I said. You need to stop. Not you. The NFL needs to stop worrying about TV money than the players.
Yeah, because the reality is this: with this situation happening, let's just say they did go back out there and try to play this game. It would have been one of the worst games we've ever seen.
It would have been.
Their mind is not on the field, and that's how other players get hurt.
Right.
You got to think about that. Even moving forward, how do you continue to play a season when you got this on your mind?
Right.
You're not going to get quality product.
The money's there.
And so at
It'll
the
be
end of the
there.
day, the money will always be there. It's the
It'll always be
NFL.
there. It'll always
You
be
got to
there.
be willing to care about humans. Again,
Right.
care about humans. Have a
Right.
respect for humanity.
Now, if I'm a young player, Gabe,
Yeah.
right? I'm sitting at home, I'm getting drafted number 1, number 2 overall, and I see that play last night, and I'm thinking to myself, would I be that person on the field? Does the NFL value me? What am I thinking?
You know what? I was thinking about this too. And Ryan Clark last night, he said something very, very powerful to me. He said, as football players, we always question that, are we willing to die on the field? Are we willing to die for this? Like, because you're playing the sport, again, it's one of the more violent sports that we have.
Yes. Yes.
And you gotta really question that for real, even though it's just sometimes just a little cute little saying.
Right.
But yeah, like I'm going all in. I'm willing to die for this. No, at the end of the day, you have to weigh how much do you really value this thing.
Right.
How much do the people, the powers that be in the NFL, really value you? And that's the question. That's
you.
if I'm a young athlete, that's the question that I'm asking, because you can't tell me that you value me, give me a couple $1 million, and then if something happens to me, you're the last person, you're the last set of people to really care.
Right.
And it shows.
Right.
Every single time. Every single time. With Tua, why is it taking so long for them to say, no, sit down? You've had 3 concussions in the season. Sit down.
But I agree with you on that one. On that one, and that the NFL should came out and say, you know what, sit down, like you said, and the player has to sit down.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that the players want to play Superman. I get it. You can play Superman by cheering on your team. You can play Superman by just being there for your teammates.
But I'm going to tell you, that's the mentality that's taught when you play this sport. You're taught to suppress every piece of pain that you feel. You feel pain on every single down.
Exactly.
Every down.
Exactly.
There's not a time that you go on that field where you are not in some sort of pain.
Exactly.
You have to suppress it and fight through it.
Right.
That's the way that the game is taught.
Right.
So it goes back to the teaching. It's bigger than just oh yeah, I'm trying to play Superman. That's ingrained in these players, especially when you want to play at a high level. When you see the greats of this game, they all said, I've had to take a shot here.
Yeah.
Take a pill there.
Right.
Like I've had to do everything in my power to stay on that field.
Exactly. So I don't know if you remember. I read a story maybe like a couple, 3, 4 months back. I read a story about Sam Shields, the Packers cornerback, former Packers quarterback, Packers cornerback. Bless you. And he was saying he's 38 years old. Bless you.
Thank you.
And he was saying, I can't see anymore. Like whenever there's light, I have to like shield my eyes from the light. Because there's so many hits, and he was a hard hitter. I remember him. He was a hard hitter.
Yeah,
like he went and faced first to the helmet first and to the defender. So you bring up concussions. Now, I think every team should appoint their own doctor, not go by NFL standards because the NFL don't care. Appoint a doctor that says, you know what, Dak, take a game off. You know what, Tua, sit down for the rest of the season. And I was hoping he'd sit down for the rest of the season. I was hoping because no life, the NFL and Mike McDaniel do not value you. If Mike McDaniel value you as a human being, then he will be the first person to tell you to sit down.
We've seen it done. Herm Edwards, I'm telling you, I keep going back to that situation because I saw it with my own
remember
eyes.
that
I
situation
remember it
too.
Vividly. He was like, no, Trent, sit down.
Right.
You don't know. It's not worth it. Your life is more important than this game.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, when we all get through, you make all the millions that you want. You got those millions by playing a game.
Right.
It's a game.
Exactly. And you can get millions elsewhere.
There's so many other avenues.
Right.
There's so many other things that you can do.
So many.
But at the end of the day, you can't do anything if you don't have your mind intact.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not worth it. It's not worth it. The reality, I mean, even I think about when it concerns having kids and them potentially wanting to play the sport.
Oh, yes. That's
Like,
one.
What do I say as a parent? Knowing all of this information and having all of this stuff.
That's a tough conversation to have, though.
Yeah, it is.
That's the thing. When you're young and you want to see it and you value the athletes and all that stuff, it's like, man, it's like what do you say?
Yeah.
You just say, hey, we're just gonna give it a go. Or better yet, if I had a spouse to be like, hey, the husband may agree, say, let's let our son play football. The wife may say no. So there's a little indifference there of the situation when you're playing football young, because they don't give you so much information. They don't give you extra. They don't give you extra support. I think everybody, when you start young, should go through a neurological test when you start young, like as young as what I guess the average age of football was like 7.
Yeah, somewhere between 7 and 9. I started playing at 9 years old.
Okay.
When I started playing, it was in the early 2000s. That was not a time where they cared about your form at all. They didn't care about anything to do with technique. They just wanted you to be aggressive.
Right.
That was it.
Damn.
So, that was the thing. When you first start playing football, it's all about aggression. It's all about how they did teach us tackling and how to do stuff like that, but it wasn't like proper technique, especially not in today's game.
Right.
Like, that's why a lot of these players who are in their early part of their career, they still are trying to fight that battle between the new NFL rules and what they've been taught their entire life. So,
I mean, I think personally, when you start at that age, you started at 9. The times that we're in right now, I think if you want to take your child in to play football right now, there has to be a neurological test. That's why I said every year, every game or before the season, basically every game, there has to be a physical.
But when you're playing Little League, a lot of times you're playing in spaces that don't have the financial capability to do things like that.
That's true.
Like, you can it's people coming from all across the world playing Little League football, tackle football. So a lot of these environments don't have the capability to even have a doctor on staff. Like, they don't even have a staff. It's all volunteer.
On staff.
All the coaches are volunteering.
Not saying on staff. I'm saying like a facility. Like, you talk about financial resources.
Yeah.
Maybe every year there's an insurance that there should be. Every year there's an insurance that should say 0 copay for neurological situations.
That would be great if everybody had insurance.
Yeah, that would be great. Yes, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. But
there's certain situations where that's not realistic. That's all that I'm saying. Like, in Frisco or Plano, they could do that all day. That's easy.
Right.
They got that. But in certain areas, which is the majority,
what about like West Fort Worth?
I mean, I don't know much about Fort Worth, so it's not fair.
I would say no. I can't say that. I could test to West Fort Worth. So West Fort Worth, it depends. It has its spots. But I think they need more assistance more than the Fort Worth downtown itself. But it's growing. Yeah. It's growing. Yeah. So I don't want to, disrespect that type of Fort Worth because it's growing.
I think really, to be honest, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
I was just thinking that I feel that the real thing with Little League sports is just teaching proper technique. Like, I think it starts with coaches' education more so than players, because at the end of the day, the players are just starting. They don't know anything. They're totally oblivious to anything they have to be taught and cultivated. If you start cultivating proper technique, you can avoid some of these things.
You could. You could.
It's inevitable to completely eradicate injury. It's a sport. Any sport is going to have that.
Right.
And not to mention a sport where you have to collide with another human every play. Like,
that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. I think
you have to literally be playing 7-on-7.
Right.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only way to prevent those
flag
type
football.
of flag football, 7-on-7.
Right.
That's not enjoyable to watch. Realistically,
It's not.
So that's all that I'm saying. Like, this is the sport. This is the sport.
Right.
And so we know what comes with the sport. There's a lot of unfortunate realities that come with the sport, and you just have to be willing as a coach to teach, and as a parent, you have to be willing to take the risk if that's what you want for your kid. If that's what your kid really desires to do.
Every parent is different.
Every parent is different. I don't know if I'm prepared to do that. I've seen too much.
I'm not. Well, okay. If I had a child, competitive as I am, Gabe, it's more of a 50-50 call for me, but I always go of the side of caution, right? If I had a child today, I would say I wouldn't worry about what the staff is giving me. I would say you need to do a neurological test before every game. And that's me. That's me talking. I'm not. I don't know anybody else situation. That's me saying I'm going to give my child the best, from neurological to proper form of how you're supposed to tackle, of how you're supposed to throw the football and how you're supposed to carry it, and how you're supposed to run a route and how you're supposed to catch it. That's me as a parent.
Yeah.
Now, spouse will say, okay, I got to see firsthand. So it should be like 50-50 on it. That's me.
I think for me, just because I've seen so much stuff with football specifically, and again, injuries come with sports.
Yes.
But I'm pushing my kid to do any other sport except football.
Okay.
Now, if they really truly desire it, they'll seek it out for themselves, and then I'll have to support what they decide to do.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like, if they like football and basketball, I'm pushing you to basketball. Like,
yeah, basketball's a safe haven.
Yeah, it's just a different. It's not contact every single play, even though basketball is a contact sport. People don't understand unless you play. But
you get up every game.
Yeah, it's just different. Like, I would literally push my kid to do anything else except play football,
baseball.
Even though I love the sport to death, but I've seen too much.
I love it too.
I've seen too much, and I think it's not really worth it for how the league values the players. From
It's
that
not.
perspective, if you're really talking about doing this long term and for real, and I got to push all of my energy and effort into helping you get to that point, then I would push you in another. I push my kid into another sport if that's what they wanted.
I mean, I mean, like I said, it's a 50-50 for me. I'm more basketball than football. I love football. I love the game more than anything. I started watching this game back in 2000. I seen worse injuries. I can tell you in basketball, the worst injuries are torn Achilles.
Yeah,
because it just changes your trajectory of how you're supposed to move. Like, for example, I can bring up who had a torn Achilles recently. I can bring up KD. KD. It took him a while to get to go down south. Now this season he's going down south. Last season he wasn't doing much of that. This season it took him a while, but that's the worst injury I can think of. Like a torn ACL in basketball. Roughly, it depends on the player's body.
Yeah.
I know you can come back. It's a 6 or 7 month injury. For ladies, it's a lot more. And like I said, it's different body, different sport, different body, all that stuff. But the worst injury is torn Achilles. Concussion-wise, like players bang their head on the floor all the time. I've done that numerous times, and it's like the concussion is only 7 days. Some players come back in 24 to 48 hours, and so
the severity is just different.
It is. Yeah. It's really different. But as far as the child goes, I mean, I'm still 50-50 on it. I won't have to wait on information from any league, whether you're talking about Pee Wee or you're talking about City League. I don't care. I'm going to do what's best for my child. If my child really wants to play football, we're going to play football. I'm going to buy you the gear that they have to protect head injuries. I'm going to show you how to tackle. I'm going to show you how to catch. These coaches here, they're volunteer coaches. Yeah. They know. I'm not disrespecting them. They know. They know their game. But the city's not going to help.
Yeah, and the thing about it, like, every city, every location, every state is different. You have some coaches who are really love the sport and really value the players and really want to just teach and love that part of it. Like the Deion Sanders of the world. You have those, because I saw him coaching his Pee Wee team.
It's a rarity.
Yeah, it's rare to see a coach that's that invested in actually making boys men. You know what I'm saying?
It's a rarity.
And so with that, I think that we have a responsibility when you get into a parent space.
Right.
I'm not a parent yet, so it sounds a little wild.
Either.
But
I'm not a parent yet either, guys. Don't let it get twisted.
Yeah, I do just think about it from that perspective. Like, if I was a parent, I have a responsibility to protect my kid and make sure that they are safe. So I do agree with you. If my kid did want to play football, I'm taking all of the necessary precautions to make sure that they're safe as possible. Because, again, you can't protect them from everything.
You can't.
It's impossible.
Right.
But I don't know. It's always been an interesting conversation to me.
It is,
especially given the recent circumstances. So it makes me think even more. So
it does. So yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know. There's so many questions that I have for the NFL though. Like, there is so many. It's like week 18 coming up. You have all these scenarios. You have 2 Saturday games. You have a bunch of games on Sunday. And then we're talking about resuming the game. And, okay. And when you brought up the game itself, they went to 9 commercial breaks till official word. I was just refreshing the phone saying, hey, excuse me, this guy literally almost died on the field. Can't you just make an instant decision right away? Right. Like you took your hour and a half? Yeah. Like, damn. If you can't get the concussions right, then what makes you think that you can't get a player's injury correct?
Like, dog, they were literally administering CPR on the field.
On the field.
So are you telling me that, like, all of
unbelievable.
To me, that blows my mind.
Right.
That blows my mind. That the immediate reaction is not, okay, yeah, this is not even, because any football that would have been played at that point, we wouldn't have been thinking about it as fans, and the players damn sure wouldn't have been thinking about it.
Exactly.
So it would have been a loss anyway.
Right. It would have been
across the board.
It would have been a loss for everyone.
So why are you still prolonging the situation?
Exactly.
Like, I don't know what their process is for stuff like that. So I don't want to kill them too much because I don't know what their process is. It's a lot that I don't know. But I will say there's certain things that are just apparent.
I mean, it's basic knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? I understand we're not supposed to know things, but it's basic knowledge. And again, I look at it as like, okay, player safety first and then the game. Now I say, and I don't know. I don't know if you play a week 18. I mean, it's so early. It's so early. Like this happened last night. Like the man is still in critical condition as we speak. And you're going to talk about playing on a Saturday game. You got 2 games. Sunday.
Yeah.
For playoff implications. And now you're wait. All these money networks are saying we're waiting on your decision. Like, the NFL could have came out and said, you know what, guys, give us some time. Let the man heal.
To me, there's only one decision, and that's the problem. there's nothing to weigh here.
Right.
For me, there's nothing to weigh here.
Right.
How in the hell do you expect players to go out on any team?
Right.
Period.
Any team, yeah.
This is, at the end of the day, this could have happened to anybody on the field.
Anyone.
This could have happened to anybody.
What about
and
the
so,
fans in the
as a
stands?
play, yeah, they know the situation too. That's why, again, I respect Cincinnati for
Right.
how they handled it. The
Right.
city of Cincinnati.
I respect that too.
because they recognize that, oh, this is a serious issue.
Right.
Like, regardless of what happens, we're not throwing the fit. We're not doing none of that because this
Right.
is bigger than the sport. This is bigger than
way
just
bigger.
the game right now.
Way bigger.
This is somebody's life.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
for me, the NFL, like, the only reason that they're even weighing a decision right now is because, like, I would postpone it indefinitely until we have a word on how he is, until players feel comfortable.
Right. Therapy is always good, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going. Well, you are. You're gonna talk to. There's always counselors at every school. I'm sorry, every facility, which I like. I like about. I don't know why it took so long, but I like the fact that there's a therapist every single, a counselor every single team has one. There's not one. There's like many of them on staff that can say, you know what, it's going to be okay. Talk to me. Tell me how you're feeling, and then maybe it can ease their mind. Maybe I don't know. Maybe.
And to that point, it's very interesting because the NFL is 85% black, right?
Yes.
So
90%.
It's 90 now.
Well, you could say 90.
Yeah. Regardless,
It's a high percentage.
it's a high percentage of black, right? And I say that because we, in our culture, we have a tendency to not even seek therapy. So even when it's offered,
yeah.
it's like one of those things like, oh, I don't need that.
It's offered to
We're
everyone.
used to suppressing how
Right.
we feel. We're used to that. That's why last night was very powerful, even in the midst of this tragic moment.
Right.
Just seeing grown black men crying on that field, like that was a powerful moment. You don't
was.
get to see.
It was.
You don't get to see people. I mean, granted, we never want to see that, but at the same time, it's rare that you really get to see that heart being poured out.
You don't. You don't
Because
get to see
we
that.
don't do that. That's not
we
how
don't-
we're
we don't
used
do
to
that.
suppressing everything. We're used to just going through life and just continuing to move.
Right.
And I think sometimes it does take tragic moments to get us to sit down and just be like, oh my gosh, like, I need to deal with me. I need to deal with how I'm feeling, you know? But to your point, I just do think that therapy is important.
Yeah.
And I think that
That's everything. That goes a long way with everything, and that goes along with these schools. Every time you hear about, I don't want to. I'm trying to deviate from the situation for a second. Like when you hear about these schools, or when you hear about these stores, you hear about these shootings, right? The first thing on my mind is. First of all, the first thing in my mind is the shooter. You're an idiot. The second thing in my mind is therapy for the people that witnessed that. That can go from customers, students, law enforcement. Therapy for those guys, because they saw it firsthand. Players, back to this one, players. Therapy for everybody, and across the board, and I'm talking about in retirement. Like these players, Gabe, I don't know if you see it, but at the end of the season, they may come to a point where they're going to retire.
yeah,
We talked about this last week. We talked about 5 years in the NFL, whether you're 27, 28. I heard a guy retire at 25. He was drafted he wasn't drafted in 2020, but he retired at 25 this past offseason. That's how much their life is important for them than the NFL.
yeah,
And so That's what I fear. I fear was Damar. Damar is not going to be the same.
No.
Now, granted, you know what? Granted, his family is saying, you know what? We can make a little. You post that video, you share it with everybody. Let's get the dollars going. Granted, you're like everybody's going to share this video here. Where's my lawyer at? Because there's going to be a lawyer for the NFL. There has to be, because this man literally could have lost his life on the field. Hank Gathers lost his life on the basketball court in an NCAA championship game. Now those were times where we didn't stop. They mourned, but we didn't stop. I remember that video. I didn't see it live, but I remember that video. When he shot a free throw, he just went down. And I was like, okay, he's going to get up. He never got up. And so it was the Damar situation. I want the brother to be okay. But I also think that privacy, we shouldn't be using that. Now, we use that for everybody to be respectful. There's no respect here. Social media is going to be what it is. People are going to share this and tell their friends. They're going to tell their family. I'm like, dude, let's care about the player more than your fan base. Your little inner circle that you talk about.
Yeah, I think we're so. What's the words that I can use for that? Like it's almost like we're prisoners of a moment.
Right.
And regardless of whether the moment is a great moment or a terrible moment, a tragic moment, we're always trying to share the moment.
Right.
And I think with so much money being made through social media, and
you're not making any money on social media. People, people, you value their time to share videos like that.
Yeah, but
his mom doesn't want to see that.
Nobody wants to see that. And the reality is we're numb. We're numb to it.
Right.
And that's the unfortunate reality about it, is that we're so comfortable seeing people in horrible situations on social media on a daily basis. We've seen people incriminate themselves on social media on a daily basis. We value entertainment. Right. We don't even value any of the situation at all. We value the entertainment piece of it because we like watching train wrecks as a culture.
It's ridiculous.
And so at the end of the day, we, even as the individuals who actually have that presence of mind to know that this is not a moment that you're supposed to share, we have to filter our own stuff too, because this stuff is ingrained in us too. Whether we just scrolling, you run into something every single day that you probably didn't want to see. And so we really do have to work on filtering our what we take in on a daily basis. And that's going to kind of take away some of that numbness because you'll be able to feel the human side of this because it's humans involved.
Exactly. Like why don't you give your mom, why don't somebody go over to his mom and give him a hug? Why don't somebody just say, you know what, we're here for you. Like whatever the mom needs, whatever his family members need, give it to them, man.
And I will say
a hug or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I think in the moment, from my understanding, that was what was happening on that field. I do think that his mom was being supported in that moment. I'm not talking about the people that were present.
Right.
These are people we're talking about outside people who are just viewers and spectators.
Outside,
So that's the issue that I have.
Right.
Because all of these situations, when you think back to George Floyd, anybody that we've seen live on Instagram or Twitter or wherever, those situations, man, like you really have to care more about people.
Exactly.
And that's my biggest takeaway from last night was that, like, we have a lack of value for humanity now.
We do.
And it's a scary thing.
That's everywhere.
It's a very, very scary thing. And I just think about the kids who are growing up in this era where it's solely social media. Like, their sources of news is social media.
Yeah.
Their sources of anything content related is social media.
Yeah. TikTok and all that stuff.
TikTok, YouTube, IG, Snapchat, all of those places. Like, that's
There's
their
nothing
source.
positive.
That's their source. And so
Yeah.
when you look at it from that perspective, it gets even scarier when you think about the future.
It does.
But that's a different conversation. I want to keep it on Damar and his family.
His family, yeah.
The teams.
That's
involved.
why I said players. This is why I value players like Stephon Diggs, being a leader as he is. I value players like Josh Allen. I'm a fan of him now. I value his presence. I value Sean McDermott. Another player that I value is I always value Michael Hyde. He's a great safety. I value Zach Taylor. Not on the Oklahoma State quarterback. You know, he was a good one back in the day. But I value his not as a coach, but I value him as a human. Like, that coach could have said, you know what, guys, let's practice for 15 minutes. Let's get back to the game. No doubt in my mind that that we can't play that game. Like, I always said sacrifice. We make sacrifices every single day. Players make a sacrifice every single day. And every season, players don't get the benefit of the doubt. They don't see their friends, they don't see their family. Football is this is why I love basketball so much. Basketball is 6 months. Sometimes you may make the playoffs, sometimes you don't. If you don't, then you have more family time. If you do, you have less family time. But nonetheless, in the offseason, you get 4 months off. In football, it seems like you only get like 2. Like, you don't get to travel outside the country. You don't get to do all this. You barely get any family time. You're worried about the next thing is mini camp, OTAs, and now training camp. And so, with that being said, there's got to be more value. I want to see more value in humanity. Was not football related, but everything. Everything, period. Because we just, like you said, we don't have it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take one person to notice that. Like, it doesn't take Roger Goodell to know, because he don't notice anything. Roger Goodell can say, you know what? Oh, YouTube is coming. We want them. Oh, yeah, Apple's coming. We want them.
I get what you're saying, Sue, and I agree to an extent. I do think that we put too much onus on Roger Goodell, because if you know how the NFL is structured, it's an owners league. The owners own this league, and they appointed Roger Goodell.
But
that's
if we
a different situation.
Yes,
that's a very different situation from saying that, oh, Roger Goodell is the one who says yes and no. He is controlled by the owners of these franchises.
But it's okay.
That's it. Like,
I do have a question for you, though.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, though.
No, you're good.
If the owners, speaking of that, if the owners were to say, you know, can't the owners make the decisions then? Can't they say we need to have our own neurologist on staff travel with the team to say, if Dak had an injury right now, if Dak came off of a vicious sack, he's wobbling around, Jerry's going to say, no, we're going to play. That person upstairs who is pointed to the concussion staff has to communicate to Mike McCartney or Kellen Moore and says, you know what, Dak can get off the field.
But so that's assuming that they don't have that.
Right.
That's what we don't know.
Right.
Because they do have team doctors. They do have team medical staff. Right. So we don't know what they have.
Right. But but if you're the owner now of a team, would you value that? Would you want to have a pointed neurologist or cardiologist for that situation, for those situations.
Absolutely. I would definitely value that if I'm an owner. But
Yeah.
if I also if I'm an owner, I think about dollars and cents. That's a requirement of the position.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, okay, what is the investment for that going to look like? What am I going to have to give up in order for that to happen?
Right.
And you know it really puts in perspective what you value at that point.
Yeah.
And so if you don't know anything else, that's why I say the NFL as a whole, there's a reason why ownership is the way that it is. It's the boys club that it is. There's a reason for that. Everything is intentional.
Yeah. Right.
So if you don't like the NFL that anyway, this situation just enhances what you already know about the NFL.
They don't like I think a lot of people don't like the NFL for other reasons.
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons.
But they're all tied in. All of those reasons are tied into the same premise.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. Like again, I said the NFL is 85% black for a reason. Mm-hmm. The players are 85% black.
Right. But
so
do you think, I know it's a personal question.
Yeah.
Do you think, and I am going to ask a personal question, do you think they're taking advantage of us?
Hell yeah. Hell yes. And I say that because
It took him 9 minutes.
I say
9
that
minutes,
because
babe. 9 minutes.
There's been so many situations where the moment we speak our mind, the moment we say anything, it gets real quiet for whoever that is.
It took him 9 minutes.
Yeah, it took him 9 minutes.
9 minutes, Gabe.
It took him 9 minutes.
Why wasn't somebody? Why didn't have a defibrillator on staff? The NFL could have said we have. I go back to the high school game, right? Mm-hmm. In the high school game, high school football, they have a emergency EMS on staff, so that they can immediately attend to the player right away. Mm-hmm. Why didn't they have it in Cincinnati last night? Then I'm not blaming Cincinnati. I love what Cincinnati did. I love the fact they have a hospital right there on near the stadium. I'm not blaming them, period. My blame is, why did it take so long? It was 9 minutes, bro.
It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that because every situation you can think of, the NFL is showing you who they are.
Yes.
When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. It's Maya Angelou. I'm telling you, when people show you who you are, who they are, believe them. At the end of the day, you talk about, is the NFL taking advantage of us? They've been taking advantage of us. They'll throw a few $1 million at us. Mm-hmm. They'll allow us to play on TV. They'll allow us to do all of these things. But we don't have any ownership in this league, and we bring the value, just like anything else. It's any other business.
Right.
It's just like any other entity. The entertainment industry is no different.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the realities that we're living in.
And that's why.
And so in order for us to change that,
right,
we have to know our value. We have to know what we value before we step into these doors. That's, again, I go back to the entertainment industry because that's my world. But that piece of it is knowing what you are worth is incredibly important to doing any type of deal, any type of, before I sit down at the table, I need to know what you value and see if it aligns with what I value.
Yeah, that's true. I laugh because I knew where you were going with that.
Yeah,
but I understand your point. But the last thing I want to talk, the last thing before we go to commercial break, I know it's going to be tough. I know it's going to be tough. We're going to be all into this together. But the last thing I want to ask you is, before we give our claps to the players I mentioned. I want to ask how, like, I want to ask if you're Sean McDermott today, what am I telling my guys if they were to put this game, let's say they put this game on, let's say Saturday. The NFL says we're going to put this game, we're going to start all over, we're going to put this game on Saturday. What am I telling being in the shoes of Sean McDermott, what am I telling my players today? After we witness what we have and it hasn't even been 24 hours. In the last, what time is it? Like 17 hours. Mm-hmm. What am I telling my players today?
Pray.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I can. There's no words for situations like this.
Mm-hmm.
There's no words for situations like this.
There's not.
The fact, by the grace of God, they didn't have to go out and play a game after that.
Thank God. That would look so awkward.
And so nobody's thinking about football right now.
Right.
This is not about football. This is about people.
But you understand my question. You understand.
Yeah,
I'm going off the NFL point.
I definitely understand. And I think that's the problem. Because the NFL, yes, it's a league. They have business entities and things involved. It's a lot of money that goes into.
But you don't worry about those business with somebody.
Right now is not the time to think about business. It's not the time to think about football. This is about humans.
Right.
These are humans in all parties involved. Mm-hmm. His mom, him, the players on that field,
his nephews,
coaches, the nephews, everybody, the staff, everybody that was involved, even the fans that were in that stadium. That changes you.
Right.
Stuff like that changes you when you see that in real time.
Right.
So you have to account for things like that. You can't even just watching it in real time from a distance. I wasn't even there, but seeing it
in the stadium, like your heart has to drop.
It sucks the air out of the room.
It does.
And so all you can do in these situations is pray.
Right.
That's the only thing that gets you through. That's the only thing that's gonna just continue to pray.
Yeah.
Continue to pray.
Pray.
That's it.
Therapy. I do want to give a shout out to the fans that stood outside the hospital praying for him, and you know, fans donated to his toy charity. I do want to give a clap before we go to the break. I want to give a clap to Zach Taylor, Sean McDermott, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and the city of Cincinnati. Like those are the real MVPs. They're realists. They don't have to worry about what the NFL says. They said, "Hey, we're going to sit in the locker room. We're going to, we're going to leave." Now, some players stayed, which is awesome. I just wish the whole team stayed. That's your brother. But I understand, like, you leave, you have your family and all that stuff. You can still pray from a distance. You can still make phone calls, all that stuff. And so, with that being said, that's tough to transition, but we have to transition. But I always thank you, Gabe, for your expertise.
Absolutely.
Tough situation, guys, but coming up next, we're going to talk about some basketball things. And also, we're going to talk about the TCU versus Michigan game and how TCU can beat all odds against Georgia. We're going to talk about that next. It's Fishbowl Radio. a little bit of a discussion about the injury that we saw last night, but that's tough to transition. We did get a report, well, not him specifically, but we got a report that the league will resume. The league has not made any schedule to the Week 18 schedule. The game won't resume this coming week. I don't know. We're not worried about that. We're worried about humanity. Now, with that being said, we're moving on to TCU versus Michigan. So there was a game that was played. TCU beat Michigan 51-45. I'm so happy. I am so happy. Because you know why? Because Michigan lost. And the fact that Michigan screwed themselves over. Like, literally, I can blame everybody for this Michigan loss. I can blame Jalen Rose. I can blame who else? I can blame Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh has never won the bigger game. I just don't know. I think it runs their family. I think when they get to the bigger game, whether postseason, football, NFL, or in the college football playoff, they always seem to make questionable decisions. You can beat Ohio State in all the worlds. Every season you can beat them. But when you get here, it's like you lose. You make questionable decisions. Like, for example, on the last play of the game, you have to McCartney. You have to grab the snap. Like, granted, you have to grab it. Communicate with the center. Grab the snap. Stop messing around. I mean, you got a hot girlfriend in the stands. Stop messing around, bro. Now, TCU side, but I'm going to go to the Michigan side in a second. But TCU side, congratulations to TCU. TCU's in the finals. They're in the championship game against Georgia. Yes, they deserve more. They deserve that. TCU played 9 straight games and went 9-0 up until K-State. They lost to K-State in the Big 12 title game by 3 points, and now they'll have a championship. Now they have a chance to do something ever since 1938 to win something. And we got to give a shout out to Max Duggar. He's the quarterback. We got to give a shout-out to Amari DeMarco, the running back, Quentin Johnson, the receiver, D. Winters, the safety, Bud Clark, the safety. Both of those guys had interceptions, returned for a touchdown. Mercado, 70 carries, $150, a touchdown. Max Duggar went 14 for 29 for 225, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. It's okay. Those 2 interceptions did not come back to bite you. We managed the game like TCU does. 9 straight games. This team is mentally tough. They gave them a schedule and they went through it. Now, of course, they didn't win the Big 12 title, which that would have been nice. But again, I'll take it. Like, man, I'm so happy about TCU. I didn't go to TCU, but I'm happy for their progress. I can tell you a story that I almost went to TCU. So it was between North Texas, a junior college, and TCU. TCU at the time in 2008 was not a basketball program. Things have changed in the last 13, 14 years. So TCU was out. And then it was between North Texas and a junior college in New Mexico for basketball purposes. I went to North Texas because of my parents. And granted, I will say it was the best decision at the time, and it's still the best decision today. Because let me tell you something. You know, when I was watching that game, I was just thinking about North Texas. What could have been their football program? TCU has nothing on campus. But they make up for it by hiring a coach that cares about the players. They hired a coach that revamped, that brought TCU back. Gary Patterson did it for 20-plus years. He did his job up until last year. But you talk about Sonny Dykes, man, like I'm so happy. As a matter of fact, TCU is far better than North Texas. They're the best team in Texas. Whoever you may be, people will say, well, the Longhorns are. What have the Longhorns done in the last 13 years? The last championship appearance was in 2010. I remember that vividly because I watched it. Like how many times on the Longhorn Network they're showing replays of USC versus Texas? Do you get joy watching replays every single summer? Yes, that's happening. They're bringing guys to do a documentary on the 05 team. Guys who look better than me. Out of nowhere. Talk about 2005. They don't want to talk about that. They're doing it for show. You show that every single year. Every year. Why? Are you afraid to talk about Texas Athletics? Are you afraid to show the losses? I mean, granted, Texas recruits well in football. But how many players say, you know what, after the first year, I want to transfer? Remember the quarterback Casey Thompson last year? He went to Nebraska. He's not doing well there. You had no NFL players in the draft last season. You might have some this year. But granted, I don't know, where is Texas going? They're not going up. They're going down. The loss in the bowl game proves otherwise. They're not going up. You'll never be back. Now you say we're better than the Big 12, and you move to the SEC in 2 years. There's no way you will last in the SEC. Heck, A&M can't even last in the Big 12, and then the SEC they can't even do it. They can't even last as a college. Do you know how many players in A&M have transferred this past offseason? 25 of them. It's because of Jimbo Fisher's coaching. Your coaching is off, bro. Time to retire. Time to give the reins to somebody else. Kevin Sumner was there for like 10-plus seasons. At least he built the powerhouse. At least that's when Texas A&M was relevant. I don't understand how people come out of nowhere and wear Texas A&M gear every single season and say, you know what? We're better than Texas. We're better than the TCU. We're better than the Tech. But yeah, y'all have won nothing. Nothing. Zero. But then again, I put them last on my list. North Texas, the college I went to that I talk about wholeheartedly. In football, we haven't won anything. 2004 was our best year. 2014 was a decent year because we won the bowl game. That's the last time we won the bowl game. But we're further back. That TCU game, I was just thinking about North Texas. That took us back. We hired a coach. It's great. But that took us back. Way back. How does TCU one season go to the college football players and now they're playing for the title? And they could even win it. They could even beat Georgia, even though they are a 14-point underdog. I define all odds. I would choose TCU to win that game. Now, people will disagree with me, but I'm choosing TCU to win that game against Georgia. They will beat Georgia. That's what I'm saying. But that took us back numerous years, guys. I mean, I'm very disappointed in the fact that we have a lot more resources than TCU does, but yet we can't win in football. We can win men's basketball, but we can't win in football. You say you want to recruit in-house. Majority of those recruits are going elsewhere. Majority of the recruits are going to Texas. They're going to other states. Like, dude, stop losing those recruits and keep them home. My gosh, keep them home, period. If you want to build a relevant team, you got to keep them here. That's how you do it. That's how you stay consistent. That's how TCU stays consistent. All those players could have transferred to other colleges when Gary Patterson left, but they chose to stay because Sonny Dykes is building something there. He's building a championship college culture that we have never seen. Like the last time TCU was relevant was back in, at the top of my head, it was back in 2014. Yeah, 2014 was the last time they were relevant. And then you talk about here, now they're playing for the championship, and now everybody wants to go to the championship game in Los Angeles. That's great. That is fabulous. But North Texas, we got some work to do, man. And this is no 1 year, 2 year process. That took us back 4 or 5 years. What is great? What is relevant to us? Relevant to me for North Texas football will be, I want to give it a 3-year span and see where we go. So the college football playoff is expanding in 2024 to 12 teams. I want us to be that 12th team. Like, we're a mid-major team, I get it, but I want us to be that 12th team. We have to go somewhere with this. We cannot be losing these games. We cannot have losing seasons every single year, and then the attendance dwindles by mid-season because people have no interest in football in Denton. Like, the people in Austin, they show up in droves, even though they have down years. They show up. That's what we're trying. And TCU, they show up. Tech, they show. A&M, they definitely show up. Even though they're a 5-7 team and they had 25 players transferred. And they say why they're transferring. They're transferring because they're for their own sake and they can get value elsewhere. It's such a shame. I'm tired. I'm tired of shaking my head every single year. Saying, North Texas football, man, what are you guys doing? What have you done for me lately? Like, dude, like, granted, it's going to build, but I'm tired of building. I am tired of building. Every year is a rebuild, it feels like. I'm completely off of that rebuild. I want to win. Winning cures everything. I want to win on and off the field. I want to keep our coaches held accountable. I want to keep our players held accountable. I want to win. Can you give me that? If you got to switch up your defense, then switch up your defense. If you got to teach technique, then teach it. If you got to remove the quarterback, then remove the quarterback. If you got to go to one running back or maybe two, then do that. But there's no way in hell you can invest so much money and not get results. That's what's everything. If I'm ordering a meal at Steak and Shake, I can say I order a quarter pounder, or better yet, a triple pounder. Then I expect results from it. I expect everything. I expect the triple pounder, I expect the fries, and I expect the shake too, and the minimum drink. I expect it. I don't expect anything less. This is what I'm getting here. I don't expect less. I want more. That's what goes with everything. Do you want more in your life? Yes. Right, Gabe? Yes. Exactly. So we want more from UNC. TCU gives us TCU gives us a lot. But North Texas gives us nothing in football. Nothing. TCU gives us something in football, and they give us a chance. Now, let's talk about basketball. Where's my sheet at? It's right here. Okay. So I did talk about UNC football. I want to talk about basketball, women's basketball. Let's talk about it. So we are on a 3-game losing streak. We have lost 3 straight games, women's team. We lost to Florida Atlantic 66-61, and we lost to FIU 86-67. And now in that game against FIU, Quincy Noble, which I'm dying to get her on this show. I'm dying. And I don't know. We'll see. But I want to give her a clap because she went over the 1,000 point mark at North Texas. So can we please give Quincy Noble a clap, please? Thank you. So the team has been off this year. I think we're 3-9, 3-8. What are those records? And I just want to ask a question: are you invested in winning ball games? Are you invested in running the plays that Coach Mitchell has for y'all? My other question would be, why do y'all press every single game, every single possession? I am tired of pressing. Y'all get tired as the game moves on. The game moves on, y'all start huffing and puffing. Coach, stop pressing. They are killing our press. They're going down there and scoring. They're going down there shooting 3-point shots. They're going out there getting layups. Every game. That's been our Achilles heel on this 3-game losing streak. Okay, I'm not saying I'm tired, but you have to change it up. You got to change it up. If the zone is not working, the backcourt press is not working, you got to change it up, Coach. You got to change it up. And there's no leaders on that team. It feels like they have lost Coach Mitchell. When there's no leaders on that team, the coach gets fired. And I'm not saying Coach Mitchell should be fired. I'm saying there needs to be leadership. I'm saying someone needs to get in that locker room and say, you know what, we have to win these games. We are tired of losing. Give it all we got. I'm tired of it, man. But then again, you know, it's basketball, and we have to know these plays. We have to know when something's off. This is off. The turnovers have multiplied. We're averaging now 20 turnovers a game. You think that's going to win ball games? It's not. It's not going to win ball games. 25 turnovers a game. 25 not a game, but 25 turnovers does not win games. Heck, it doesn't even win the championship. At that point, you would say in practice, and I've been in practice before where we worked on technique, we worked on balances, we worked on chase, we even worked on communication. We worked on communication, for goodness sake. You don't even work on communication in practice. You work on technique in practice. If you're not communicating, if you're not working on technique, nothing works. Okay? Nothing works. So we need to go back to the drawing board, and say, what is wrong with our team? What is wrong with this culture? Every player should look themselves in the mirror, from the coaching staff to the players to even the trainers, to say, you know what? What is wrong with me? I can look myself in the mirror as a player, as a podcaster, and say, why aren't people listening to me? But then again, people have their own lives. In basketball, I can say, why is my shot not going down in the mirror? And I'll do the things to work on it. We're not perfect by any means. Why does Kanye not go to the mirror and say, what is wrong with me? Why is everyone feeding into my negativity? Why is everyone cheering for my negativity? We just talked about humanity. What is wrong with me as a human? If you don't have human emotions after last night, something's wrong with you. If you don't have human emotions for this basketball team, and I'm talking about the players, something's wrong with you. You're not better than your opponent. There's a reason why you're 3-8 or 3-9, wherever that record may be. You're under 500, way under 500. What is wrong with me? What can I coach better? What can I do better to get this team afloat? I am tired of more victories. I want to win. That's why when Cowboys fans say we're going to the Super Bowl after this game, we should have beat the Titans by 30 points, even though they were playing their second team. And first of all, the Titans weren't a joke. Now, do you think those players looked themselves in the mirror after that loss to Jacksonville and say, you know what, there's something wrong with me? Yes. As Cowboys fans, we got to accept it, bro. Like when you're having a bad day, when you call someone out, and it hurts their feelings, do you ever look in the mirror and say, something's wrong with me? I do all the time. I look in the mirror and say, what can I do better? What can I do with my physique? What can I do when I say these things? All the time. That's what I want these women to do. And I support the team. I love the team to death. But I can't accept these results if you're not giving me anything back. That's why Coach Prime always says invest. You got to get something back. That's why he invests in that program, because he knows he got something back. He got wins back and appearance to the championship game, even though they lost. But you got to invest to get something back. That's the word of 2023. Invest. Now, let's talk about the basketball team, the men's basketball team, which boosters, you should devote more time on the basketball team than the football team, because you know why? Because the basketball team is going somewhere. The basketball team every year is going somewhere. They're going to win games. They're going to win 10-plus games at this time. They're 11-3 right now. The loss to Florida Atlantic, which I don't understand why they lost. But then again, it's poor shooting on both sides. But they lost the game to Florida Atlantic, but they beat FIU. Now, granted, this is where the basketball team, we need games like this to understand why we're so inconsistent. And I'm talking about men's basketball. Football, they're way inconsistent. Basketball, we're inconsistent for one game, then we bounce back and we get a 15-point victory. We don't have enough scorers on the team. We don't have enough playmakers on the team. Our offense is going to be half-court offense. Our defense is going to be smothering, which is good. But offensively, we can't push the pace. We can't get these teams out of position, and that comes with the mindset. We're always going to run a half-court offense. We're always. It wins. Sometimes it wins games, sometimes it doesn't. But that's how Coach McCaslin is going to do, which I'm trying to get on this show, by the way. So we just got to accept it. Like I said last week, I said this is going to be a half-court offense. Okay? That's what it is. They're not exciting, but it is what it is. It's exciting to the players, but it's not exciting to me. They don't care what I think. They care what they can play through. Now, I want to talk about Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. The Mavericks are on a 7-game winning streak. Luka, during that 7-game winning streak, he's averaged 45 points a game. And these players, man, they don't know how to defend Luka. If I get on that court, I know how to defend Luka. You laugh, but it's true. And so, with that being said, I said, this is how you defend Luka, okay? You have to face him up. You cannot double team him. If you try to double team him, you got shooters like Willie. You got another shooter in Reggie Bullock when he gets his act together. You got another shooter in Hardaway. You definitely got another shooter in Christian Wood. This Mavericks offense is one-dimensional. Don't get it twisted by those guys that I mentioned. They're one-dimensional because of Luka. Luka's carrying the team on his back. He's carrying them to the top. He's putting on his backpack was filled with heavy rocks. He's carrying them to Mount Everest. Oh, that's good. I love that. And so, so with that being said, you have to face him up and get through the screen, get through Powell's screen, get through Christian Wood is not going to set a screen. You know damn well he's not going to set a screen because he sets the most awkward screens in the league. This guy sets the screen like I can't even tell you. But he is a decent NBA player. But you have to face him up. You have to pressure him. You pressure him. You get him frustrated. He's complaining to the officials for a foul. He gets teed up, or better yet, ejected. Now, granted, you don't want to see on the Maverick side. You don't want to see him ejected. You have to get him. You have to carry him away from the officials. He loves talking to the officials. Anybody that's wearing a striped gray shirt is an official. It could be somebody on the stands he's talking to. It could be talking to Tony Brothers, who is the worst official in the league. You talking to Rodney Mott. He's another official that he's the worst in the league. Heck, you can talk to Scott Foster, who is the enemy of the league, officiating. Now, all those officials I mentioned, you don't know them. Well, society does not know them, but Luka does. Luka says, "You know what? I'm going to go inside and flop and just flop something up and cause a foul." But they don't call it. You have to pressure him. If you pressure him, then he doesn't score 30 points on you. The only time he scores 30 points, he gets to the free throw line. That's it. He's not scoring from the 3-point arc. His 3-point percentage is off. But if you allow him to work his style, then he's going to get his shot off. That's how you defend him. You pressure him. He doesn't get his points like he is right now. He's a great player, but in order to stop that, you have to pressure him. Period. That's why I get so mad, because I'm like, the Spurs, they said we're going to keep him under 50. He scored 51 on y'all. So what does that tell you? Stop jacking around and pressure him. We have nothing on the Spurs. Nothing. Please, God, give us something. Give us a player that changes this franchise. Give us a player that says, you know what? In the fourth quarter, I'm going to lead us. Give us a player that Pop can respect. Don't give us players like Sohan who can't guard a lick. Don't give us players that Devin Vassell can't guard a lick. Can't even stay on the court. Don't give us players. Don't give us players like Joachim Pirtle that gets dunked on every game. Every game he's getting dunked on. Like, dude, you are a human. Stop getting dunked on. Stop getting bullied. Don't give us players like Zach Collins who is just a softie. Like, dude, how you going to flare your arms in the air looking for a foul? Like, dude, come on, man. Stop messing around. Defend. Get up. Guys, get in the weight room. Stop getting dunked on. That's how you prevent from getting dunked on. You work on the upper body, right? You work on the upper body. And then, so that when players, weak players like, I can't remember, those small players want to dunk on you, they can't. They will hurt themselves. Come on, man. You have to pressure Luka. You can't let him go off. Stop switching. Sohan, stop changing your hair. You change your hair every game. You're not Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was garbage. He's a good rebounder, by the way. But You are not Dennis Rodman. The only reason why people are calling you Dennis Rodman because of your hair color change. Stop changing your hair color. Be a man and defend Luka. Don't let him go off for 51 points. I bet he had 30. Devin Vassell, stop sitting out every game. If you're hurt, then just say, you know what, I'm hurt. I'll be out for 2 weeks. You're not entitled. We are losing games because of inconsistency. We have nothing. Look, if I'm Keldon Johnson, look what I have to work with. Look what I have to work with. I got to work with a guy who gets dunked on. I got to work with a guy who doesn't even want to play basketball, but wants to shoot from the outside. And I'm talking about you, Zach Collins. I'm talking about you. You don't want to bully in the paint. How are you going 6'11" and don't want to play in the paint? You're 6'11", and you're playing like garbage, Zach Collins. And they say that he's the next superstar. They said that in college. But Zach Collins ain't no superstar. Zach Collins just taking up a roster. Yakum, dude, I don't know why teams would want to trade for him. What are you going to get from him? Are you going to get the games that he's going to score 6 points and get 8 rebounds, or are you going to get the games that he sometimes he scores 30 and gets 15 rebounds? I want the guy that has 30 points and 15 rebounds, a 20-10 player. I want that. And I also want him to stop getting dunked on. Can we please stop getting dunked on? So with that being said, that's how you defend Luka. Now, I do want to give another clap to Donovan Mitchell. He went for 71 points. It was overlooked by injury, rightfully so. Donovan Mitchell, thank you, bro. Thank you for giving me 71 points. Thank you. Even though I'm not his senior or his coach, thank you. But guys, I've spoke so much. And this was a show where we care about humanity. We care about humanity. We also care about the players, too. So, with that being said, I just wanted to hear this and say, we love you guys. Now, Yakum, I do this out of love, okay? Nobody else loves you out there but me, myself, okay? Dude, I just want you to just stop getting dunked on, period. I want Zach Collins to stop being weak. Or else, better yet, Zach Collins would go get – I want Jeremy Sohan to stop changing his hair color every game. Dude, you are nothing. You are nothing outside of San Antonio. What they will remember you by the guy that changes his hair every game for show. Stop being for show. Be a basketball man. Give us something. Stop changing your hair every game, please. It's so annoying. You have done nothing. Devin Vassell, get back on the court soon. This season's lost. It's lost on the Spurs side. But the Mavericks keep moving on. All right, guys, that is our show for today. We didn't really get into Cowboys coverage because, the situation happened last night. But hopefully we'll talk about it next week. Now, the Cowboys got to win, the 49ers got to lose, and the Phillies got to lose to get the number 1 seed. That's number 1. We win. Okay, we win. Okay, we win. I'm sorry. If we lose, Philly, obviously they get the 1 seed. We play Tampa Bay. Or better yet, we might play Green Bay. Who knows? Me personally, I want Tampa Bay. I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs because he will torch us. Damn, you have to see Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. I thought he was done and over with. Let him go Joe's off season, but yet he's lurking again. But that's it for our show, guys. We'll talk about more Cowboys next week and see where they're going to be in the postseason. But I do appreciate you guys. There's going to be more content in 2023. Stay tuned and subscribe and tell your friends, your family. And we're all humans here, guys. Take care and see y'all next week.